Hi, this is Tom, co-founder and CEO at PetsApp, and we've built this really cool tool using Decipad. It is a return on investment calculator for prospective clinics to look at where they can change the numbers, change the assumptions to determine is the return on investment that we suggest they could achieve really going to be achievable in their individual context. So it gives them some security around the numbers and allows them to adapt to their individual circumstance. So let's dive in. Here you can see that we have an assumption that this clinic, this prospect, has 2.7 vets, and that's because 2.7 vets is the average number of vets at an average clinic, and this reflects the fact that clinics have a lot of part-time vets as well as full-time vets. So we want point something of a vet to be included. That's not obvious, and Deci allows you to change the step interval in the numbers that you provide. So we could keep this to just be whole number intervals. That would kind of intuitively make sense, but actually the system's sensitive enough for us to put a step of 0.1. And you could put this in, make this 0.2, assuming a 5-day week, and 0.2 representing one vet day per week for that team member, right? But I can dial this up and down as I please as an actual clinic. You know, let's say I've got my individual circumstances. I've got 5 vets. And how many clinics do I have? So some practices have multiple clinics, might have a central hub hospital, and then a sort of hub and spoke model. They might have multiple clinics. So let's say this is, you can see how many. The interesting thing here is we've allowed very large clinic groups to be included in the assumption of this model, or even much smaller clinic groups. So let's say, we've got, we can edit this number 2 clinics. And then the average transaction value, so they can edit this to reflect what their average transaction. Obviously, we don't necessarily know that, so they can put that in themselves. They might not be comfortable sharing that with us initially, so they can put it in here without necessarily sharing that with us. And then we can put in what modules they're going to use, and they can turn these on and off. So you can see wellness plans forms part of the ROI here, but maybe they're not going to start PetsApp with wellness plans, and so they don't want to offer wellness plans yet. So they can turn that on and off as they please. And then you'll see this return on investment. They can make $2.8 million per year by using PetsApp. All right, I'm looking at that and think that's good. That's a great return on investment. But is it too good to be true? Well, decide for yourself. Look at these numbers. We're saying that this productivity piece, where these assumptions come from, well, it assumes that the average clinic does 3 procedures per day, like a dental or castrate and neuter surgery. And each of those procedures involves 2 consultations that they could free up if they were to use PetsApp. And those consultations in this case are a discharge consultation to send the pet home, but also a post-operative check where the pet owner comes back in with their pet and we check the surgical wound. So we're saying that you can actually do those things asynchronously over PetsApp, and so you don't need to take up a peak time consultation for those procedure consultations. So if the average clinic does 3 procedures per day and saves 2 consultations per procedure using PetsApp, you can see here the freed up slots, the number of freed up slots, that's what we call the consultations saved at peak times, times the number of procedures that they do, means that they save 6 consults per vet per day. But we want to know the number of consults the overall group saves. So it's their saved consultations, this calculation, times by the number of vets they've got, times by the number of clinics they've got. In this case, the clinic has, remember we set it to be 2 clinics with 5 vets. So they save 60 consultations. But how many days are they open? Well, here, this clinic works 26 days per month, but maybe this clinic is only open, 5 days a week and an average of 22 days per month. They can edit that there. And so given all those assumptions, you can see by backfilling these freed up consultation slots, this is how much money they could save. And they can do that for all the assumptions in the model. They can track our thinking and interrogate our thinking and edit the assumptions behind our thinking in this model until they have extreme comfort with Decipad. And for someone that's been introduced to PetsApp, shown PetsApp, it's very intuitive. Like the assumptions, the units, the numbers being used all make this so we've seen prospects feel like they can get comfort with the return on investment we're suggesting. Not only that, not just is this useful for prospects, it's also been useful for our internal team to help them see the thought that goes into the product and the return on investment claims that we're making. And it provides backup for them and gives them comfort around where these assumptions come from. So just want to say a big thank you to Decipad. You just make it so easy to lay out the thinking and share that and collaborate on that with others. So thank you.